seen anything like this before? Well, this is a place where these animals have got their second life. Most of them are near-death survivors, saved by a group of human angels who have dedicated their entire life with the mission of rescuing animals that are found badly suffering and are rendered helpless outside our homes. They're not only rescued but provided shelters and some even permanent shelters until they are found by some loving human who are ready to take them home. Isn't our responsibility to respect them? For I feel they are the chosen ones sent to earth by God to heal this world. When negativity thrives, a small fragment of positive people like them, people like Sajesh and Skyla, becomes a spark that has the capacity to burn and cleanse the prevailing negativity surrounding them, and their kindness becomes the light for others.
Please do come forward and support us. We are here to help the dogs. Report a case when you see a dog. Please report it. Take a video, take a location. You can WhatsApp it to us. Our number is 9739 288 282.
ഇല്ല ഇതിനറിയാം ഇവിടെ കുറച്ച് സ്പെഷ്യൽ ട്രീറ്റ്മെന്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ആരും അടിക്കില്ല.
The first one.
ആദ്യത്തെ ആളല്ലേ.
Black.
There are few dogs who are never up for adoption. ഞാൻ ആര് ചോദിച്ചാലും കൊടുക്കില്ല.
Welcome to our Travel Souvenirs channel. We have come across a few people, few noble souls who really think that animal lives are as important as our lives are. We are going to meet one such couple today, and right now I am in front of the premises of Alai Animal Rescue and Shelter Home here, and we are going to meet the people inside. Come have a look. We all give importance to our lives, our friends, our family, and we have created a few boundaries within which we try to be as much selfless as possible. But if I say there are people whom we have come across in this journey of adoption of pets, we have come across people who are relentlessly, tirelessly, selflessly working towards a huge group of stray animals. They are into rescue, they are into rehabilitation, they are into providing aftercare, adoption, and we are in front of Alai. Animal lives are important. It's a shelter for rescued dogs, and right now I'm going to introduce two very noble souls who have been actively with a family of around 350 dogs, and many whom had come here in very grave circumstances, very severely ill, uh, hurt in accidents, and they're all found a very happy home here. Some are permanent inhabitants here, and I'm going to introduce you to Sajesh and Skyla. I'll hand over the mic to them so that they share their journey into how they ended up with so many animals here.
Hi, I'm Skyla from Animal Lives Are Important. This Alai shelter was started by my husband and myself, my husband Sajesh and myself. And the way before we started, it was like, I'll tell you about my journey. So previously, I used to see a lot of dogs on the road who are ill, injured, disabled, but I really didn't know whom to reach out. So previously, there were hardly 2 to 3 shelters in entire Bangalore who used to full-fledged rescue, but it was not enough compared to the number of animals that were being injured in Bangalore. So I used to face a lot of constraint in terms of where to take them, how to transport them. So many a times that I used to see a helpless dog and I could do nothing. And this is something that gave me sleepless nights over the years, because I see them, then I think, then I don't know where to take them, what to do with them. And eventually, after so many years, I met Sajesh and in one of the rescues, and he also had the same challenges. So we thought, both of us have the same plan of, let us start a shelter with a small number of cages. Where we started in January 2017 with a small van. We took a loan and we brought a small Omni van. So there we overcame our first challenge of how to transport the injured animal. Then we faced a challenge of where to take them. So we took a small land on rent, and then we started with about 26 cages. And from then on, these 26 dogs has increased to 100 to 350, and today we stand at 430 dogs and about 30 large animals, 40 large animals, most of which are disabled, blind, have only 3 legs, and many kind of injuries that we cannot really release them. And our daily work includes, we rescue them, give them the treatment. The ones that recover, we go and leave them back. The ones that don't, continue to be a permanent resident at Alai. So this is how our journey began.
So these animals have kind of changed your life, and you have now dedicated your life entirely. It seems to me that you have dedicated your life now for these animals. And there was a point when you were doing something else, you were doing a job. So what made you take that leap of faith decision, I'm going to be spending my rest of the life with them?
I was working for about 10 years, so it was a full 9-hour proper shift job for me, going to work from 9 in the morning and coming back around 7 to 8 o'clock in the night. But for me, it was like just to go to work and come back. But most of the times in the cab, I used to just fall asleep because I was so scared to even look out on the road. If I see an injured dog, whom do I reach out to? That was the biggest fear that I had, and it was like haunting day by day for me. Every night, knowing that there is a dog that I had seen the previous day, will it get help, will it not get help, whom to contact? So even now in Bangalore, there are so many people who see injured dogs, but they really don't know whom to contact. And I was in the same position that many years back. So it was like a daily haunting for me. So it gave me sleepless nights. But then I wanted to start something, but I didn't have the courage to. I didn't have a family that would support me to. I don't think anyone's family would let your child go and live your full life with animals over there. So gradually I met Sajesh, and that's when when the person you're meeting also has the same,
same inclination.
Yeah, inclination towards animals, and he also wanted to start something, so you get the courage to do something. So that is the only reason why I actually left my full-fledged job and then started over this. I was working even when we started Alai, but gradually I had to leave because both of us, when you start a shelter, you have to dedicate your whole life to the animals. It's not like you go to work, you leave the whole shelter to your caretakers and drivers. It's not possible because your whole time goes in coordinating, rescuing, where to take them, when to take them, seeing which dog is not doing well. So I eventually had to leave, and then I dedicated my full life to animals, and that is something that I'm the most happiest today. It gives me so much of peace knowing that if I see an injured animal or someone else sees, we are there to help them out. So that is how
I mean, I must say that, we need more people like you to inspire younger generation and people like us to come forward and do whatever in their capacity, in their little capacity that they can do. Really inspiring. What are the challenges you face with these pets when they come in? I mean, obviously they are very injured and they need extra care. And now when you have 350 dogs specifically taking care of so many of them, individual attention would not be possible.
Yes.
So how do you manage all that? And what are the challenges? You start with the challenges, and then how do you manage?
So the current challenge that we face is, so I'll tell you what happens in a day. We get calls, we get messages over Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp, and our general rescue calls. So we collate all of them, we see which needs to be prioritized first, accident cases, then the maggot wounds, and then we go on. The challenges that we face is you will get like literally 15 to 20 calls a day, but it's impossible to pick every other dog. Max you can pick up is 5 to 6, and that too also if it is near to each other. If it is like in different corners of Bangalore, it is completely impossible to pick up everyone. So this is what we start. We pick up the ones that we can. So that is where the challenge is. First thing is you cannot pick all dogs. The time constraint. The travel itself in Bangalore takes so much time, the traffic, everything. It's impossible to pick up every case. So that's the biggest challenge that we face. The second challenge that we face is the cost of treatment. Like we need to do scanning for the dogs, we need to get medicines. Everything is very costly. Compared to the human, if a scanning for a human is done, it costs maybe 800 to 900, but a scanning for a dog literally costs 2,500 and above. And you cannot take every dog. So that is another challenge that we face, because if you see, scanning and all helps us diagnose much better compared to just doing a blood test or an X-ray like that. So these are the two main challenges. And the other challenge is when you have so many dogs, you cannot give an individual attention, yes. But to overcome that, what we have done is we have almost 22 caretakers in our center. So each we have divided our center into many sections. So each section is monitored by a specific set of caretakers. So
you have how many people working here?
We have 22, including the drivers. Yeah. So we have so many, and we have a doctor also who works at the center from morning to evening.
Excellent. So what is the basis of segregating them, and how have you placed them here?
Okay, so we have two centers. So both are at a distance of 3 kilometers from each other. So the first center that we have is a little smaller. So that is where we have the main treatment area, which has about 40 cages. And that's the center that holds the spine injury dogs, because most of the place is cement flooring, so they can drag and they can walk. And then the old center is also for the geriatric unit. We have a palliative care which houses the old dogs and the dogs that are suffering from spondylosis and arthritis. So there we have a set of caretakers who take care of only their because they are supposed to be on medications 24/7. And then we have this center where we are right now. This is a very big center where we have about 6 to 7 sections. So how we have divided is we have a treatment area here also. So we have the critical dogs over here. Then we have a different section completely for the canine distemper unit. So we hold about 58 canine distemper dogs there. Then we have a large animals unit. We have like cows, ducks, sheep, goats, pigs, and guinea fowls. Then we have the permanent residents. We have divided into another 5 sections. That is based upon their temperament. So we have certain dogs who keep fighting, we separate them. There are ones who are very docile, we keep them separate. And there are some who cannot eat faster, so we keep them separate. So each section is divided based upon their temperament, their nature, everything. And then we have a section which is housing like close to some about 30 puppies. These puppies were like just thrown in a bag outside our gate. So we had to separate them because puppies cannot be mixed with other dogs. In spite of their vaccinations, everything, they contract infections very easily. And since we take very, very critical dogs, so we had to make a separate section for them. Then we have 2 separate big kennels which are only for dogs which we bring in for neutering. So we are in a non-BBMP area. So there are a lot of villages around us where there is no ABC, ABC birth control, animal birth control procedures over here. So what we do is we go to each village, we pick up dogs, we bring them, we neuter them, give them the post-operative care, everything, then we leave them back. So that is one of our services that we do for the village that we are in. And apart from that, that is the main sections that we have over here. Then we have one more section which is holding a little less critical dogs. So those are like, once they are done with their treatment here, if they move, there's no much involvement needed from our end. So we move them into another section where they continue with their medications. And then that's when we move them again to the permanent section. So that is how the dogs move through our center.
Skylar, what is that basis that you decide that you're going to rescue this dog? So,
Okay, so see, when we get a call, it can be 2 things. Either the dog has visible injuries or the dog doesn't have visible injuries. So what we see is, from our end, from Alai's end, what we see first is the distance. Can we pick? Can we not attend? Is there any other center who's closest to attend? Because time is a very big factor over here. We are very, very far away from the city side. So one is that. Second is depending upon the injury also. We have seen many times that there are dogs that have visible injuries, there are dogs that don't have. A dog with a fracture inside is something that you will never know. If he's just sitting in one corner, you'll never know that it is injured. So what we see is that many rescuers or centers come forward when the animals have visible injuries, and the head is open, there is a big open wound, there are maggots flowing through it and all that. But a dog, and everyone thinks that's the most critical one that needs help. But we have seen over the years, what I have understood is that a dog that is just lying and has fractures inside or spondylosis, there are barely anyone who's coming to help them. Because everyone thinks, okay, he's just lying there, there is not much, he can live for another 2 or 3 days. But being honest, those are the dogs that really need the help. They are the ones that are not showing any wounds. And it must be deteriorating so badly inside. Those are the first one that we need to help out. So for us, see, we give priority to any of them. It doesn't really matter to us. For us, the closer we are, the faster we go and pick the dogs. But what I want to tell the fellow rescuers and the center is that when you need to be inclined to rescue dogs that are also not showing any injuries, external injuries. A dog without an external injury might be more critical than the one that has. To give an example, there was one case where the intestines, everything had come out and the dog was still alive. The number of people who went to help that dog out rather than helping the dogs that did not have any injuries but needed more help were way too many. So this is what we are seeing, the trend that is building up. A breed dog gets much more help, gets much more medicinal help, where a breed dog is picked up first compared to a street dog that is having more injuries. So this is the biggest challenge that we face, because in the last 2 days we have picked up about 13 dogs. None of them have any external injury. If you see them, they look perfect from out. But inside we have seen they are suffering from spondylosis, arthritis, their bones are fractured. These dogs are not getting any help at all. So this is my request to all the people. Please also rescue these dogs. It is becoming...
That gives me to the next question, brings me to the next question. How do people know that a dog is in some kind of immediate medical attention? I mean, what are the symptoms they should look at? Like you said, he might look very healthy from outside and everything looks normal. But what are the signs to look at in a dog?
See, for a layman, they wouldn't be really able to identify if there is no external injuries. But if you actually see, there are people who really know animals. If you have pets, you will really know how to read an animal. A dog will be sitting for hours together in the one place. You can see it from even the expression on the face and all. They look sick. I mean, it's very difficult for me to explain how, because
They don't eat well, they don't sleep well.
Yeah, see, if you're going to feed and they don't eat, yes, that is the first thing, that the dog is not feeling that good. But as a layman, it's very difficult for anyone to identify. So when any layman sees an animal on the road, the first thing you should see is the animal is able to walk properly. If you see a dog who is not walking very well compared to any other dog that you have seen in your life, that is the first thing that you need to report. Second thing is, if you see a dog who is continuously vomiting or maybe passing loose motions or blood motions, that is the second thing. Most commonly it is in puppies who suffer from parvo. So then if you see an animal that is continuously sitting at one position, not getting up for a very long time, because recently we had a case, a dog was sitting in a same position for 3 days. The reporter really didn't know whether it is injured or there's no external injuries, nothing. So the third day he realized there is something really wrong, and that's when he reported it to us, and we realized after an x-ray it had multiple fractures. So these are the cases that a person needs to report it. So if you see a dog that is not feeling well, try to give it some food as in, like, just buy some chicken pieces from the shop, give it. If it doesn't eat, that's where you will upfront know there is something wrong with the dog. There are a lot, whatever an animal goes through is the same thing. Whatever a human goes through is same thing that happens in an animal. Like diabetes, heart related issues, cancers, everything, each and everything that a human goes through, an animal does go through. Exactly the same. Only difference is that the animals cannot speak for themselves. So the humans are the ones, the people are the ones that should come forward and report it out. There are a lot of centers in Bangalore, there are a lot of trauma centers who can help you out. The first thing that you need to do is take the video of the dog. The video is first thing that will help a rescuer identify what may be the problem with the dog. That's the first thing. Second thing is take the location. So these two things are the main things that are required for a rescuer. When you report it out, these two things you need to send it through WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever, through social media, you put it out so that the people who can come and help can rescue the animal.
At Alai, we were touched and moved by so many incredible stories of recovery and rehabilitation. One amazing story of recovery is of a dog named Bolt. He was run over by a truck, and a heart-wrenching video was captured of the incident by a nearby CCTV. After bearing the pain for the whole night and lying immobilized and helpless, next day morning he was received by the Alai team, who could rescue and shelter him at the Alai shelter. At Alai, they treated him with the best of medicines and the laser treatment, comforted him with loads of love and special care. And soon, Paul started to take the first few steps. All throughout, he and the Alai team fought a never give up battle for life, and eventually they won. Both today, fearless and a winner, lives as an exemplary case of human and animal love relationship doing wonders. Now meet Akita, a very sweet dog whose every step was once a painful case of a medical condition called slip disc. At Alai, he became a yet another case of an incredible recovery story. Thanks to the painstaking effort by the Alai doctors and the Alai rescue team, who relentlessly, patiently worked with him for 60 days. With all the love and the care, today she's a bundle of joy and happiness for the entire Alai shelter team and its inmates. Thanks to the Alai team of doctors. Another case of an amazing recovery is of a 3-legged dog reported and picked from Yalanka. He was found lying helpless and completely immobilized in the sun. When he was picked up, he only had 3 legs, his 4th limb was missing. And unfortunately, during the course of the treatment, his hind leg also had to be amputated in order to save his life. He was lovingly later named as Pihu. A month later, Pihu started bouncing around in the shelter with a never before infectious energy and rarely seen positive attitude. These are only a few among the hundreds of recovery stories that happened at Alai. We can go on and on with it. God bless Sajesh, Skyla and the entire Alai rescue team and the team of the doctors, for it is for their exemplary efforts to save lives of the unvoiced ones. Kudos and a million cheers to the people like them. What are the advices that you want to give to a rescuer? I mean, somebody who had spotted an ill dog or injured dog on the street. What are the key points he has to remember when he's trying to contact a rescue team, so that precious time is not lost?
Okay, so the first advice that I would like to give is, when you see a dog that is sick, take a video, take the location. Try to reach out to the centers that are nearby. The most of the centers have their phone numbers on Google. You put out animal shelters near me, you will get most of them on Google itself. If you're still not able to get help, that's when you start circulating it. Circulate it to your friends, family. Main thing is, first you can circulate is on Facebook. That is the best way to circulate it. It reaches out faster to many, because most of the rescuers are there on so many groups on Facebook itself. So that's the widest reach that you can do through WhatsApp and Facebook. And what I say is that time is of essence over here. So the faster a center that is nearby reaches, the best, rather than contacting a center that is kilometers away, who cannot reach on time, who may not have the vehicle or the driver to reach other. Try to reach out, follow up with the centers nearby. See, the best thing is, if you feel that the dog can be picked by, you put a blanket on the dog, pick him up and take him to the nearby hospital, at least for the first aid, so that you get the first aid. Then later you can shift it to the shelter which is able to take in, because of if they have the space. So yeah, that is what I would like to say.
Now these dogs have come to your shelter. You have rescued them. Now they've gained back their good health, and many are good to go for adoption. So there will be many people who will want to adopt these animals from your shelter. So what do you want to tell them? How to reach out to you, and what is the best suggestion to any people who are thinking of adoption, and the comparison that you want to draw, adopting an animal from a pet shop, an animal from a shelter home?
So like I said, we have about 430 dogs now, most of which are in good health. There are some that are disabled, but still yet in good health. They are just like normal dogs. They walk around, play around, everything. We have some breed dogs as well, who were a breeder discard, who were abandoned. Most of them are up for adoption. We would request the people to please come forward, adopt these dogs, especially the indie dogs that we have rescued, because there is no way we can leave them back to the road. They have been for treatment for so much time that if we leave them, they will not be able to survive on them. They need a loving home. Please don't go and buy a dog, because yes, I do understand there are many people who say, if you don't buy a dog, they will rot in the cages in the shops. But the thing is that you are creating a demand. The more and more you buy, the more and more the selling will happen of these breed dogs. They are not kept in proper conditions. They will sell you puppies. The parents of these dogs are ones that will never be shown to you. They are in the most pathetic conditions that we have seen. We have a lot of dogs, such dogs that we have rescued. They have been thrown on the road just because they are not able to produce any more puppies. So give them a chance. Give the indie dogs a chance. If you are interested in a breed, please pick one from the shelters itself. They need a home. They need a love. They have gone through a very horrible, cruel life. That, that little love for whatever years they have left, that would be really, give them that happiness for the little years they have to live. Go for an adult dog, because in a shelter you cannot give that individual love to every dog. You have dogs, we take care, we give them food, we give them everything, whatever needed. They have a place to run, everything. But that love from a family is what they miss the most. Every dog likes to have that individual attention from their human parents. And this is something that they all miss. Every dog here misses that, in any shelter for that matter. So come forward, don't buy. And don't buy, adopt a dog. The love, you will see the change,
There are advantages when you consider adopting indie dog. There are more advantages than adopting, because these dogs are adapted to our conditions.
Yes, and they get less sick. I mean, compared to if a tick fever hits a breed dog compared to an indie dog, the indie dog will survive much better compared to a breed dog. A breed dog, after 2 tick fevers, 3 tick fevers, they can barely live. But an indie dog is so strong. The immune system is so very strong. If you see the indie dogs on the road, you can see they have so many wounds. They're walking on three legs, yet they are surviving.
Yes.
But a breed dog cannot. Give them a chance. Give them the love. There's no difference between both the dogs. It's just a matter of breed. We have so many dogs. Yesterday I have a picture of a Doberman playing with an indie dog, a boxer playing with an indie. They don't know breeds.
Just like we human have different colors. We are from different areas. We have different behavior is same. Human are same. Like that, these dogs are dogs.
Dogs are dogs. Exactly. They'll give you the same love. Everything. It's just you all want to adopt. Many of them want puppies, but if you are not able to take care of puppies, because puppies require a lot of attention, complete. But if you're not able to, go for an adult dog, go for a young dog for that matter, a year or a 2 or a 3-year-old. They'll give you the same love. They'll be much more better. They will not dirty the place in your house. They generally have that. Indie dogs, if you see, they have their own zone. They'll dirty but they will not dirty the roads. So it's like, give them a chance. That's what I say. Adopt, don't shop.
So you can hear from the barks that the number of characters we have now in this video. They are also actively participating in this conversation, vouching for Skyla. Now the scale at which you are operating is enormous. You have 350 plus dogs here, and then the area of work is also requires enormous funds, enormous money, like surgery. Even taking them to hospitals, bringing them here, feeding them. So how do you manage? How do you manage to raise funds?
So we have 2 shelters, and the expenses are quite huge, from the caretaker salaries, to rent, to the driver salaries, to medicinal expenses, lab expenses. They are quite huge. And they are quite huge. And yes, we do require a lot of support. It is an NGO. We completely rely on donations. We completely rely on community. So what we look for is the monthly donors. That is a very huge help to us, where people donate a fixed amount to us every month. It will help us plan our expenses much better. So, like to be precise, we have 3 protocols that we follow. Every time we pick a dog, the dog has to be mandatorily neutered, vaccinated, and the blood test has to be done. These 3 itself cost a lot for us, and we don't compromise on that. We do look out for monthly supporters. We do look out for passive adopters. So we have a lot of dogs that cannot be taken into a home. They are on.
I think you just go to them.
Yeah, she won't stop. 1 minute, she'll not stop. Yeah, so we are looking for monthly donors, passive adopters. Passive adopters meaning that when you cannot actively take a dog home, either because you have some personal commitments or because the dog cannot live in a home because it needs continuous medical attention, everything. What you can do is adopt it passively, as in you help us with a fixed amount on a monthly basis, which covers the food, boarding, and the basic medicines. That is another very huge help that we are looking for. See, as a NGO, as to my husband and I, we are doing it on a large scale. What you all can do on a smaller scale is help us in turn, help different shelters as well, as in where you can help with a small amount. Either to sponsor food. So if you have an occasion where you want to celebrate someone's birthday, you can come visit, donate some amount to cover the feeding of that day for all the animals. Or if in memory of a loved one, you can again sponsor a meal. So these are the three basic things we are looking for: monthly contributor, passive adopter, or somewhere where you can sponsor a meal for us. That would reduce a lot of burden on us.
And indeed, it will be a good karma on their side,
Yes. You'll receive blessings from the animals.
From the deceased ones also.
Yes.
Having two pets at home, I find it so difficult to manage. The first time I saw the puppies, I thought it's the cutest thing that I can do in my life. But having them at home now, I feel open to seeing all the challenges that comes with making their life comfortable. It's really a big thing. Not many people can do that. What keeps you going, Skylar? What I mean, 350 and more. I'm pretty sure that you have scope of more scope to expand. So what keeps you going? What drives you? What motivates you? You have a motivating husband, I know.
Yeah, that is there. That is my biggest motivation over here.
Apart from that.
I have 5 dogs at home.
Huh.
Here we have 430 dogs. The thing that keeps me going is that every time we bring a dog, the time we see it walk, when it recovers, it gives us an immense pleasure, to see them. We have given them a new life. Especially seeing an old dog who has no food or no way to compete with so many other dogs, young dogs on the road, where they don't get even, there is barely any food on the road, if you have seen. And to fight every day, and here when we bring them, they get a bowl full of food, and when they eat it so happily, that is something that keeps me coming every day. More than anything, it's the peaceful sleep that I get at night. Like I told you, the day we started this, before we started this, my whole thing was having sleepless nights every day, knowing what is going to happen to this dog, that dog that I have seen. And today, seeing that I'm having the capability to take a dog, give them a new life, that is something that keeps me coming every day.
Keeps you moving.
Keeps me moving. See, giving them a cage-free life more than anything. When we bring a dog, we keep them in a cage for a few days after vaccination. When we release them into the different sections where they can roam freely, we have a lot of trees, everything. Seeing them play around, it's a different kind of happiness, seeing a dog come in and a dog that recovers and goes out. That is even a bigger happiness for us. It's more like doing a doctor's job. It's not that we are doctors, but giving them that
Much
life.
more than doctors. Just you pay them their fees. They treat you for the particular illness. But it's beyond that. You treat them and you look after them for the rest of their life. So it's much beyond that. The pleasure that you're talking about is unmatchable. It is not equal to any worldly pleasure. I can assure you that. I mean, when you help somebody, even for one meal, the satisfaction that you get is beyond any other satisfaction. So this is, I don't know, is there anything else that you can match up with? I don't think so. Hats off, kudos.
Please do come forward and support us. We are here to help the dogs. Report a case when you see a dog. Please report it. Take a video, take a location. You can WhatsApp it to us. Our number is 9739 288 282. You can drop a WhatsApp message anytime you have a rescue. If you are willing to come forward to support us financially, or you want to donate anything in kind, please reach out to us on this number via WhatsApp or over calls. Thank you.